One of the things you don't know about me is that I love knowing what some would consider useless bits of information and, love learning about things that perhaps are somewhat off the beaten track. Now, South Africa uses the metric measurement system, and this means that we use kilometres instead of miles, we use kilograms instead of pounds. And the institution tasked with regulating this is the National Metrology Institute of South Africa. And they are on an awareness campaign to educate South Africans about metrology. So joining us now from our Pretoria studios is Dr. Ndwakhulu Mukhufi, who is the National Metrology Institute of South Africa's CEO. Dr. Ndwakhulu, thanks so much for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you, Sakina.
So first and foremost, I think most of us have never heard of the National Metrology Institute of South Africa before. So what exactly is it and what do you do?
Thank you, Sakina. I think to start off, it's very important to define what we do, then you will know who we are. What we do is we measure. We are the Institute of Metrology for the country, which maybe just to define metrology, metrology is the science of measurement. So we are the Measurement Institute for the country. When you did your introduction, you did say South Africa follows the metric system. The metric system comes from the use of the meter, which was started in the late 19th century. And now we, as South Africa, are part of the meter convention. We are signatories to the meter convention, which we connect the South African measurement system to the international system of units, where for everything that decisions get taken, I can with confidence say there is measurements that are involved. For instance, we are communicating now over the airways. There is measurements that are done to balance the connection to ensure that the voice and the audio is synchronized. So we as the Metrology Institute of South Africa develop, keep and maintain the national measurement standards for South Africa to ensure that we benchmark them with the international system. This helps Sakina in supporting trade because our measurements that are conducted in South Africa can be trusted internationally, and we can be able to compete in the international trade system. We can also lock out unsafe goods through the measurements that we conduct in the country. Sakina, we form part of the National Quality Infrastructure, which comprises of the SABC for documentary standards, the SANAS for accreditation, the National Regulator for Compulsory Specification for legal metrology, and the Nmisa Nmisa for providing for the scientific measurement standards.
So why do we as South Africa use the metric system as opposed to the imperial system?
We are using the metric system because when the meter convention was signed, it was because of the realization of the difference in the standards that are used in different areas. For instance, the British pound and the American pound are not the same. So to harmonize the standards, countries of the world came together to agree on a way that would ensure that the measurement system is comparable and equivalent.
I see you also manage disputes in measurement. So what are some of the more interesting ones that you've had to deal with?
Repeat that question, Sakina. I couldn't get that.
I said, I also read that you manage disputes in measurement. So can you perhaps cite for us one of the more interesting cases that you've dealt with?
I think the recent one is when we reintroduced the evidential breathalyzer test into the country through establishing an artificial lung that we use to calibrate the breathalyzers that are used in law enforcement by traffic officials on the road, to ensure that because of the calibration, which is basically linking the measurement results to the national measurement standards, which are traceable also to the international system. As you know, this was reintroduced in December in the Gauteng and the Western Cape areas. We were very much instrumental in ensuring that that calibration is established and the breathalyzer is brought back into the system.
So all very interesting, and I understand that you will be embarking on a roadshow, also offering bursaries. If you could just briefly tell us a bit about that.
The roadshow is trying to bring awareness to the general public on the functions of Nmisa. As you know, everybody measures. Human beings measure, but most of the time people are not aware of measurements that support their daily activities and the decisions that are taken, be it in healthcare, be it in safety, and all over the spectrum, measurements get conducted. What we have decided is that from the month of February up to the month of September, we will be embarking on this roadshow. We decided to make this coincide with a very important milestone in the measurement world, in the metric system itself, which is the redefinition of the SI. The kilogram as we know it will be redefined on the 20th of May. That the way we as scientists realize it will be different. It will be based on fundamental constants of nature, as opposed to the current definition, which is the international prototype of the kilogram that is sitting in a vault in Paris. So to bring that awareness to the public, we will be embarking on this roadshow, going to schools, going to public areas, and conducting interviews such as the one that I am having with you right now.
Dr. Ndwakhulu Mukhufi, I'm loath to let you go at that point because now you've really piqued my curiosity. I want to know more about that last statement that you made. But of course, we will come back to you at a later stage, as you say, at the time when this will be done, where we'll talk more about these units of measure and how you actually do that. And absolutely fascinating when you think about constructing an artificial lung in order to measure, you know, those breathalyzers. Absolutely fascinating stuff. But that was Dr. Ndwakhulu Mukhufi, who's the National Metrology Institute of South Africa's CEO. And remember, they will be conducting campaigns and roadshows across the country to educate South Africans about metrology. So we'll leave that one there for the time being.